I make a loud sound when I change my jacket. I get larger but weigh less. What am I? Popcorn. Welcome back to Q-Zilla Facts. Today we are doing a mega brain marathon. We have 20 tricky riddles and 20 impossible macro images. Grab a pen, track your points, and let's begin. Riddle 1. What goes through cities and fields but never moves? A road. Fact check. The Pan American Highway is the longest road in the world, stretching over 30,000 kilometers. Riddle 2. What has an endless supply of letters but starts with a P? A post office. Fun fact. The highest post office in the world is in Sikkim, India, at over 15,000 feet above sea level. Riddle 3. What is always coming but never arrives? Tomorrow. Fact check. The fear of tomorrow or the future is a real phobia called chronophobia. Riddle 4. What occurs once in a year, twice in a week, but never in a day? The letter E. Fun fact. The letter E is the most commonly used letter in the entire English language. Riddle 5. What flies without wings and cries without eyes? A cloud. Fact check. A single fluffy cumulus cloud can hold millions of gallons of water. Riddle 6. What tastes better than it smells? Your tongue. Fun fact. Your tongue is the only muscle in the human body that works without any support from the skeleton. Riddle 7. What can you hold in your right hand but never in your left hand? Your left hand. Fact check. Around 90% of the world's population is right-handed, making left-handers quite rare. Riddle 8. What falls in winter but never gets hurt? Snow. Fun fact. The largest snowflake ever recorded was allegedly 15 inches wide and 8 inches thick. Riddle 9. What has a face and 2 hands but no arms or legs? A clock. Fact check. In watch advertisements, the time is almost always set to 10:10 because it frames the brand logo nicely. Riddle 10. I make a loud sound when I change my jacket. I get larger but weigh less. What am I? Popcorn. Fun fact. Native Americans were popping corn over fire more than 5,000 years ago. Riddle 11. I have no life, but I can die. What am I? A battery. Fact check. The world's oldest known battery is the Baghdad battery, dating back over 2,000 years. Riddle 12. What word is spelled incorrectly in every single dictionary? The word incorrectly. Fun fact: the first English dictionary was written by Samuel Johnson in 1755 and took him 9 years to finish. Riddle 13. What gets sharper the more you use it? Your brain? Fact check. Your brain generates enough electricity to power a small LED light bulb. Riddle 14. What can fill an entire room without taking up any space? Light. Fun fact: sunlight takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel all the way from the sun to the earth. Riddle 15. What is as light as a feather, but even a giant can't hold it for long? Your breath. Fact check. When you exhale, you lose a tiny bit of weight because carbon dioxide has mass. Riddle 16. I have eyes but cannot see. I live in the dark until you dig me up. What am I? A potato. Fun fact: potatoes were the first vegetable to ever be grown in space aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia in 1995. Riddle 17. You cut my skin off and then you cry. What am I? An onion. Fact check. Chewing gum while peeling an onion can actually stop your eyes from watering. Riddle 18. I have a head but no eyes. Tear one off and I can create fire. What am I? A matchstick. Fun fact: the match was actually invented after the lighter. Riddle 19. I leave a mark wherever I go, but I get shorter the more I work. What am I? A pencil. Fact check. A single standard pencil has enough graphite to draw a continuous line 35 miles long. Riddle 20. What can you see with your eyes closed? A dream. Fun fact: within 5 minutes of waking up, you forget 50% of your dream, and within 10 minutes, 90% is gone. Now for round 2. Guess what? I'll show you an extreme close-up. You have 5 seconds to pick the right option. Is this a pine cone, a pineapple, or a cactus? A pineapple. Fact check. A pineapple is not a single fruit, but a cluster of hundreds of small berries fused together. A hairbrush, a paintbrush, or animal fur? A paintbrush. Fun fact: historically, the finest artist paintbrushes were made from the soft tail hairs of Siberian weasels. A banana, a cashew nut, or baked bread? A cashew nut. Fact check. Cashews grow outside of a fruit called the cashew apple, completely exposed to the elements. White thread, a violin bow, or a spider web? A violin bow? Fun fact: Traditional high-quality violin bows are strung tightly with actual horsehair. A TV screen, an LED bulb, or a neon sign. A TV phone screen. Fact check. Every full-color image on your screen is made entirely from just 3 colors: red, green, and blue pixels. Sandpaper, a lighter flint, or a meteorite. A lighter flint wheel. Fun fact: the sparks you see are actually tiny pieces of metal burning at over 3,000 degrees Celsius. Seaweed, a bath loofah or dry grass. A loofah. Fact check. Many people think loofahs come from the ocean, but they are actually dried vegetables related to cucumbers. A purple grape, a blueberry, or a black olive. A blueberry. Fun fact: blueberries are one of the only completely natural foods on Earth that are truly blue in color. Velvet cloth, a pigeon feather, or silk fabric. A pigeon feather. Fact check. In ancient Greece, pigeons were used to carry the results of the Olympic Games to different cities. Black leather, a dog's nose, or thick rubber. A dog's nose. Fun fact: just like human fingerprints, the pattern of ridges and bumps on a dog's nose is completely unique to them. A snail shell, a fingernail cuticle, or onion skin. A fingernail cuticle. Fact check. Your fingernails actually grow significantly faster during the summer months than they do in winter. Dress, sequins, fish scales, or plastic wrapping. Fish scales. Fun fact: certain brands of lipstick and nail polish actually use crushed fish scales to give them a shimmery effect. A crayon, red lipstick, or a wax candle. A crayon. Fact check. Crayola produces nearly 3 billion crayons every single year, enough to circle the globe 6 times. The lunar surface, a biscuit, or a piece of cork. A biscuit or cookie. Fun fact: the famous chocolate chip cookie was invented completely by accident in 1930 when a baker ran out of baker's chocolate. A shoelace, a button thread, or a fishing net. A button thread. Fact check. When buttons were first invented, they were only used as decorative ornaments, not for fastening clothes. A spider web, a frost pattern, or smashed glass. A frost pattern. Fun fact: frost doesn't freeze from liquid water. It forms when water vapor in the air turns directly into solid ice. A living room carpet, a bath towel, or a wool sweater. A bath towel, terry cloth. Fact check: towels are made with thousands of tiny loops to increase their surface area, making them highly absorbent. A knife blade, a paper edge, or a white wall. A paper edge. Fun fact: paper cuts hurt so much because paper edges act like tiny microscopic saws, leaving behind tiny splinters in your skin. A maze puzzle, a QR code, or a city map. A QR code. Fact check: the QR code was invented in Japan in 1994, originally to track car parts during manufacturing. A silver ring, a paper clip, or a bending pipe. A paper clip. Fun fact: the classic gem paperclip shape that we all use today is so perfect that it has never actually been patented. If you survive this challenge, hit that like button, subscribe to Q-Zilla Facts, and we'll see you in the next brain-busting episode.